Hello again. It's Abby here. All right, today we are working on the rest of. We've done the album. We put it together, the booklet, what they call the booklet. I call it an album. I haven't straightened these out. I just left them the way that they landed. So now today we're doing the accordion folder that covers over the top. So what's going to happen is this part, this piece, goes on the back. The album sits in here. Now the album is bigger, wider than this. So you can, if you want to, you can center it. I'm going to just push this in and make the album back fit. So it wraps around like that. And then this part fits over the top. So this has a glue part that will glue between this back piece and this interior piece. It'll glue up here to put this into one big piece like that. Okay, then this, it's in, and the accordion goes, this glues to the back of, no, it's supposed to fit in. Okay. Is it? I'm thinking now, sorry. Because it says this glues to the back side. But if it does that, then this doesn't fit inside. You know what I mean? Like, okay. Now I got the paper here. I thought I had it all in my head, how it goes. So it folds over. And it folds over, and they don't show that part at all, of course, because why would you, right? You see what I'm looking at is, this is the front part, and you put the front part between and all the rest, and then, but then it doesn't show what to do with this part here at all. So I have no idea, because if you do this upright, and it sits this way, right? It's sitting this way if you fold it. It's sitting like this. And you've got this little channel, and the book should fit in the channel with this back. And it also says this glues to the back panel, so I'm not really sure how that happens. Does it go this way? No, because then that's not on the back, is it? So if you do it this way, then that's not on the back. That's no longer on the back. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be real nice if they really did a few better steps. Because I'm really not seeing where that goes other than they kind of show it glued somehow to this back. Like this. Oh, wait, yeah. No, I'm sorry. I apologize to them. No, this is correct. You do glue this to the back. I forgot, this has got an accordion in it. Like, okay, so the folder, the book is on the front. The accordion goes on the inside, sorry. Like, you know, so it's going to be on either side. So it glues to the back of your book and to this part here. And then this part comes over the top and actually encases everything. If I can turn this sideways, you might be able to see it better. So this glues to the back like this, like this. This becomes an accordion by putting this in here like this. And then this comes over the top of the whole book to hold it all together, to hold everything together, the accordion and the book. And then I'm going to use Velcro on the flap to hold everything closed. Yes, they do have it. That was me. Sorry. Yeah. Me trying to figure things out on my own and looking at this and going, what the heck? But yeah, they do have it there, so we're all good. All right. Okay. All right. So the first thing we need to do is set that aside. We need to put the front and back of this part together. So they glue together like this. It's pretty simple. You're just gluing it together. I've got stuff all over the place here. Just get rid of some of these labels and such now that we're moving into it. Okay. All right. So we're gluing the whole thing. So, you know, get enough glue that it's going to hold the whole thing in place for as long as you want it to be in place. Now, there's a fold here. What I'm not going to do is glue right on that fold. I'm going to glue around the fold so that the fold can still fold even with the gluing, you know? If that made any sense to you. I'm leaving the actual fold line not glued. Okay. This. Now we kind of line the front up as best we can, but the important part is to line up the fold so that it will actually fold. So it might push it might push the front like this. So you want to make sure that the folds are together and not sort of pushing out away too much. You know? Like this. Yeah. But you might have a line here, and if you do, you can just trim it off nice and even. You know, just take your little trimmer scissors, your trimmer style scissors. I like these little ones. These are a Cricut one. You know, I'm not. You know, we're talking about selling our Cricut at some point, and I ain't giving up the tools. A couple of them I will. They're kind of useless for what I do, but these scissors are awesome, so I like them. So I won't be giving up the scissors because they're a good tool. Thank you so much, honey. You just brought me a drink because I need to put something in my throat. I just went through a little coughing fit there, which I know that he's going to cut it out, so you won't hear it, thank goodness. But yeah, it's very, very, very dry in this apartment. We live in 10% humidity in this place, and it's just because of the way that they've vented and done things. Because it's not 10% outside; it's much higher than that. Anyway, so that is that done. Now you can kind of get an inkling of how this is going to go together. Now, before we can glue the back to the front of this, we have to put the two together, but we have to put this in between here. Now, I've just noticed that when I fold these two together, we again have the the overage here. So what I'm going to do is grab a couple of paper clips and paper clip it so that I know where I should cut. And then I'm just going to trim that before, because once I've glued, I can't trim this. So I'm just going to trim this back part off a bit, which is, you know, I mean, these are the kinds of things that I've talked about before, that you may have to do if you're doing, you know, a kit, or, you know, even if you're making a kit up yourself or making your own design, you may get to, you know, a place where you need to trim because things don't line up the way that you want them to. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this bottom bits together. And I'm going to try and leave them exactly like they were just folded. So I'm going to kind of do them a bit at a time here. I'm going to do this one first. Then I'm going to do the next flap up from the other side. And then, okay, is that how you want it to be? I think it is, yeah. See, there's not very much here. There's a tiny little bit that I could take off, but this is going to be glued to the back of the book. You're never going to see that part sticking over because it's inside. Okay, so now I can do the next section this way. And see, if you do it kind of, then I need to put the flap on and then do this bigger section. But at least this way, these two sections are now going to hold the upper part in place for me. So I don't have to be struggling with trying to line it up when I put this thing in, because it's going to do that right now. It's doing that by itself. Okay. So that's those two bits put together. And if I hold it like this, you see it's lining up fine. I got it a little bit over to one side, but it's okay. We'll fix that, you know, we'll trim it and things like that. Now, get this on right. So you want this part to match this part because that's your inside. And you're just gluing this onto, you know, one part, and then you'll glue the other part over the top of it. So we're going to glue this on this part, on the brown part first. And you'll find that these don't want to push down once you've glued around them. The things don't really want to sort of push back flat. Well, at least I find that. Yours may work differently. I don't know. I like the little strip that looks like ribbon on there. You could really dress this thing up by putting real ribbon across these places and, you know, really have it dressed up. And then we're going to glue, now we can glue this to this. And then we're going to work on our accordion part. There, like that. Now we push this and get it lined up as best we can. Bend it in, bend it in, bend it in, push it to the side. You know? Like that. And this is how I'm going to push you across, push you. And you will see. I think I'll trim off this little bit here because this might show. You know, this little tiny bit of cast on here. This will definitely show at the back. And that bottom, the bottom might show, you know, because you turn it over, you're going to see it's got a white strip on it. So, but there and there, I'm really glad I figured this out. This is not for the faint of heart, this one, but it is a nice, really nice. It's really nice. I'm going to be really happy with this when it's done. But okay, so now we want to look at these. Now, I've already pre-folded them. There is this one edge that's longer than the other one. You've got one edge that's wider than the other one. And these do not fold. They do not fold on top of each other. Because I lined them up and I scored right on their line. And neither one of them folds on top, like directly on top. Well, this one does. I don't know from that one because I did it exactly the same. They're identical. But anyway, you want this colored part to the outside of your folder, and it's going to be here. And you want it down toward the bottom, not toward the top, because you're going to be putting stuff in and out, right? So you want to put it down toward the bottom, and it's going to fasten on the other side onto your book. So your book is going to fasten here, and it's going to fasten onto this part and your book. But before we get there, we need to put it here on both sides. You want to make sure. I'm not going to worry that it's not stacked properly or whatever. I mean, it's weird, you know, you put it through, they're both through the printer, they were printed separately, in that there was two of them on one page, so, you know, there was that. But, you know, you print them both, you score them both the same. One fits, one doesn't. So once I get this kind of into place, what I'm going to do is give me one of these. This might work. That might help. Give me one of these. There. So that might help. That might help. Just clip them together. That way they're together. They're out of your way, kind of. Okay. All right. So I'm doing the fat one on this one. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the same on the other one. No idea. Haven't looked. Anyway, they should be opposites to each other, and the fat one should be the one that goes on sort of the back. I'm hoping that's how it is, but now make sure your design, your pattern is on the outside, because that's what you want to see. You want to see a big strip of white. You want to see a nice design. Because on the inside, it doesn't matter. You know, you're going to have other things on the inside. So, and I'll show you that in a minute. But let me just, that actually worked really good, having that. I just got to make sure I got it too low. I got you too low, didn't I? Yes, I did. Bring it up a little bit. So you want to bring it up a little bit off of the crease, so that when you're closing it, it's not catching and, you know, giving you grief. All right, let's have a look at this and see if we can do something similar. Let's just clip you here. These are little baby, well, they're not baby, but they're not medium. They're not like your regular size clips. Yeah, do it that way. And that might go that way. Yeah. These are one smaller than regular, but they're not the minis, you know. So, but you know, when you order things online, you never know what the heck you're going to get. Like, you know, yeah. It's just, you get it, and then you go, oh, this isn't quite what I thought it was, but all right, we'll just deal with it. Yeah. All right, so that's going to the outside. Good. Yeah, that bottle of glue, by the way, is still hanging in there, so I've got the same bottle of glue. I've got 3 new ones on the shelf over there, so when this one runs out, I mean, the glue lasts a long time in these 8-ounce bottles, but they are a 5-ounce bottle rather than a 4, so I like that. I'm hoping I can buy that for a long time to come. All right, so now this is going to glue to this one, to this side. And this is going to glue to here and continue the thing. Now, there are things that go in, there are dividers that go in here, and I'm debating in which order I should do this. Do I do it? Do I glue this on first, like the book and the thing, and then put the folder dividers in? Yes, there's these dividers. There's 2 of them. And there's only 2 of them, and I mean, I looked at it and I thought, maybe I need to print more. Of course, these 2 decided to stick together. But there's these 2, and they go actually in, and they're supposed to glue in to these little panels evenly. So I've been debating, do I put them in now, you know, well, I can see what I'm doing, or do I try and slide them in later when I can't? And I'm looking at them and thinking, you know, if I glue them in now, they're actually holding the thing where I need it to be held. So I'm thinking I'm going to put these two in. And I don't need to put more than the two. You know, if I put them in this way, then the other two can go in later. Or four. There's actually four others. But they don't need to be, these four don't need to be glued in unless you want to glue them in. These are the ones that need to be glued in. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to glue these two because they're going to hold, see how it flops otherwise. I'm going to glue these. I'm going to start them on the back, glue them on the back into their place. I don't think it really matters. I don't think there's a difference in size, in like width, size. But I'm thinking, you know, that one can go there. And the other one can go more toward the front. And that holds the thing in place for me. Yeah, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. So I think we'll start with the, because you only do the sides. You do the you know, each side. You're gluing it onto the little flap. So you can glue, do a little bit wider glue because you're gluing it onto a flap and you want it to stay in. So do a little bit wider, not hugely wider though, because you know you just don't want that really narrow bit of glue that you usually want on the edges. And then we put that in there like that toward the top. And you in there like that toward the top. No, toward the top. There you go. And we squeeze it. Squeeze this. No, toward the top. There you go. Just toward the top. And we do that. Make it go on there. Because we can glue this other side in a minute. Get this in place first. Make sure that it's in. Oh. You know, I'm kind of like this. Yeah, okay, and then we glue the front. Because otherwise you have to glue two sides. You have to glue both sides of your strip, of your piece, this piece, and slide it in, and try not to get it stuck, you know? And try not to get glue everywhere else inside your little holder. So if you do it this way, kind of before, you know, you can access the edges and everything way easier and just press it into place. Make sure that it dries a bit before you sort of leave it alone. But look at that. And then the next one will hold it better. And then, you know, we can glue this part onto, we'll glue the book on and then glue the whole thing onto the book and the thing. And we can just turn it over because the book has a bit of weight to it. So we can turn it over to make sure that it stays in place, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's try this one. Now this one does have an up and down, and that's okay. Yeah, I liking how this is going. I mean, if you do it the other way, then you can smoosh it down easier when you're putting the book on, you know, because you're pushing from the front. But you can, you know, you can do this. I just find, I don't know, putting the paper in a little easier. And then I don't have to worry about it either. Like it's in. Okay, get in there, and get in there, get there, like you're supposed to. There you go. Squish you in place. Squish you in, and squish you in. I'm giving it a little shove when I'm like so that it's up to the edge. So it's holding it nice and straight. Now look at that, see? I've got those two in, and I can do this front bit. Come on. It's a little tricky getting around the corner of that thing to get the glue onto the paper, but you know, it's not impossible. So there you go. All right. Do that. Do this. Lay it down. I got a blob of glue there. I got to get out of there. All right. Now, and There. All right, so that gives you an idea. Now the book goes here on the front. So we bring the book in, here, you go there. We bring the book in and we're gonna glue this piece to the back of the book. And I want it over here, I don't want it even. I want it on the book itself. Because that way, it doesn't matter if these are sticking out, but I'm not glued to them, you know? So, we're gonna do this. This makes it a little awkward for this part, but you can, you can work with it. Just push this part down and the other part will sort of pop up behind and you just hold it. Once you get this thing straightened, like figured out in your head, I mean, these are not super difficult. It's getting them straightened out in your head, how they go together. And I don't do prototypes. I just am not that person that does prototypes. I make the thing and you see me doing it the first time, which is why sometimes I fumble around and do things wrong and I've got this not over where I wanted it in the first place. But, you move it over, push, push, push. There. Okay, so that's that part on there. You got to make sure that you fold it so that it's on the floor, on the ground, on the table. So that it's when it's folded, and there is on the table, so that it's even. And then you're going to bring this part up and put glue on these two wings and bring this part up over, and that's how it's going to go. It's going to go like that. So you want to make sure that your flaps are also on the back of the book and not on the back of your little pages. So this is going to be trickier to line up. Not impossible, just a bit trickier. So, and it's because these things, these wings, these things want to flip out. They don't want to lay flat. They're an accordion and they want to pop out. They don't not want to lay flat. So you gotta kind of force them to do what you want. Force them. Anyway. Yeah. And you don't want to get any you don't want to get anything onto this thing here. Because you're not gluing that down. Gluing that. This is the guy who's going to be a pain. Alright, you're gluing this part and this part to your cover. Now, one thing you can do to help is take a paper clip. I got a bigger one here that goes a little longer, and put it in on the edge like this to hold your upper corner a little bit better. I only got one of them out. That's the problem. I only got one big paper clip out. The rest of them are these little ones. They don't work quite the same, but they'll still work. You just want to make sure that's being held in place at the top there, and then you can hold it at the bottom with your fingers, just to make sure that it stays glued to the hook. Now mine moved over, of course it did. Of course it did. Moved over on this side, just enough to be a pain. Oh no, it didn't. No, it didn't. Yeah, it's all good. It is just kind of the way that yeah, it's just this front guy. This front guy. Yeah, it wants to stretch a little bit because I've got this. Maybe it's this side I got wrong. Did I get this side wrong? I got this side a little bit off, but it's not that much off. So anyway, I've just clipped it now to just the part that's gluing to the book and not to the other part. Yeah, I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I think I need. No, that's not where I glued. So I just glued here. So yeah. I think what I did wrong, if I did anything wrong, is I put this card, this front card, should be here. It should be in this middle part, not in this front one. Too late now. It kind of is in order the way it's going to be. So then these parts, these four, they just slide in. No, they would if they could. Yeah, they don't want to sit in there now, you see. One might sit here. They don't want to sit in there. Well, they would if I do this, if I hold it better. Maybe. Yeah, see that one really doesn't. It's so there. I would have to trim these in order to use them all, but I'll give you an idea of it anyway, because you know it's what it's meant to be. Now, I mean, the people that make the kits, I mean, when they do their demonstration thing, they always do it and it looks so good and it works so well. Now I do it and it's like, okay, that didn't do what they did, you know? So anyways, so you do have these cards and you've got 4 of them. So you can put all 4 of them in. I would have to trim, I'm going to trim them. I got to trim them because they are not going in there. Oh, there's another one of those. Shoot. Missed it. So you're supposed to have 3 of these. So yeah. So I put these in probably completely the wrong spots, but anyway. I'm going to not worry about it. This, you know. Yeah. This back one is folding weird, or folding odd for this, you know. So anyways. Maybe you're not supposed to glue both sides of these cards. Maybe you're supposed to glue one side. I don't know. Anyway, we can trim these off if we want to, and then they will go in and they will be fine. But you sort of use these, and you can put like cardstock or something on the back to write on. I printed on the back of these. I think it even said on the thing to print on the back of these, so I printed on the back of these. It makes them look pretty. It's annoying that they don't want to go in there now. I use them in the book. Will you go in the book? Will you fit in the book? Almost. Oh, almost. These ones might fit in the book better than these other ones. Well, anyway. No. But anyway, these are supposed to go in there. And let me just grab my little trimmer here. I got my little guillotine trimmer. It'll trim these off. It'll do a job on them. Don't know if it'll be good or not, but okay. So we want to just take a little bit off of each side. I don't want to get rid of too much of the picture, you see. Little picture in the corner. So I'll just take a bit off of each side and then it'll fit. So here, and then it'll fit in. It should anyway, yeah. Then it slides in okay. It's a little bit bowed, mine is, my version. Yours probably won't be, but, you know, me with my crooked eyes and, yeah. Sorry about the noise of this thing. It is loud, isn't it? Okay, and we put you in there. In you go. Yep, that fit nice. Now I got another one needs to go in. Now this one's a problem because it's right on the edge. So I have to take it all off of the back end. That's okay. Because it's got its file folder thing right on the edge. So, but there we go. So we've got, I mean, you can put more than one in a slot too, you know. There, like that. So there it is. And then you fold it over the top. You put a Velcro fastener, or if you prefer a magnet, you could use magnets. You know, but if you're going to use magnets, you want to place the magnet first because you want to place it between this card and that card. Okay, so you want to place your one magnet there, and then you between these two cards. If you're using Velcro, of course, you can't do that. So, which is one reason I thought Velcro would be cool. Now, there is one more thing that you put on here, and it's a handle on the top, and it's a little, looks like a blue jean handle. Let's get rid of this stuff. The evidence. Let's get rid of the evidence. So you just, fold this in half. It's got a score line. It actually scored fairly evenly, so you don't end up with, all the white and everything. Yeah, so you just do that, and then you just put glue on. That then becomes your handle. And it's just a folded in half one. Now, handles that I make, usually, I do a trifold because it strengthens the handle a lot. I mean, I would suggest that you don't use the handle for lifting this and carrying it, just because it's probably not the best idea. So I'm just going to get my bigger bone folder here and do a little curl. This makes it easier to put it on properly. And then I'm going to fold this back. It does not give you a fold line, but I'm going to do this just to fold this back on this part. Now, you can put this on in many ways. You could get a brad, poke a hole in either side, and put a brad in. Just put a little brad in on top. You can glue it, and I'm going to glue mine because mine is for decoration. But if you actually think you might use the handle to lift this thing up and down, then you're going to want to put a brad in just to make sure that it doesn't pop out. And even then, if you put stuff into this, if you put too much stuff into this, you're probably going to end up with it breaking off. But I'm going to do that and just a little bit over from the edge. And it is really cute. It's a really cute little handle. It's a really cute little folder. If I'd done it straight, it would be even probably cuter, but then I've got an extra sheet there. Now there's ephemera that comes with it, of course. The one thing that they do have is these little mini book things. And they are an accordion, so they just accordion them. So they accordion them this way. And they do like the two separate, like this. And you just do that. And it's just a separate little booklet. Now they don't have printing on the back of theirs. I printed on mine, so. But you could, if you wanted, you could put these together. I'm just trying to figure out how. Because you can always, glue. Or you could just add a flap to one end or the other, and then you can glue them together. It would be better if there was 5 pictures instead of 4, but there's only 4. So if you do Photoshop, you could always go in and drag one picture in. But that is the little way they do it, is just these little accordion folders, and then they just tuck them into one of the things. I don't remember which one, but they just have them kind of tucked in. Oh, into the pockets, exactly. I forgot about these pockets that are supposed to get filled. Okay, let's pull out the ephemera and see what I didn't do. Oh, got stuck underneath. Okay. Well, yeah. Shut the envelope, please, and then shut it. Okay. All right. I did cut out some of it, maybe all of it even. It looks like I cut out most of it at least. So I got all this stuff, all the goodies. And we got the book, and we got the pages, and each page has an envelope. So, yeah, see, I didn't cut this out. Or this, there's a few things on there. So I leave them to you. Now there are these really nice ribbon /thread winder things that you can use, and you could print off like several of these. If you've got stuff that you need to wind, and you know, because they're really pretty, you could just do that. You could just, and you could actually use these as ribbon winders as well. These little corsets, I mean, they're cute, but you could use them as ribbon winders. I just left them just like they are. There's lots and lots of pictures and things that are not, I didn't fussy cut very much. I fussy cut a few. So I'm going to put these kinds of things toward the back. And then there's these sort of ovals. They're very pretty, but like I said, I didn't fussy cut everything. It takes hours to fussy cut, and I don't have hours most of the time. So, so I'm just putting things in. Now there's a bunch of buttons that are just paper buttons. You can use them, you know, in various things. I'll put those in with those things. And there's these circles. They're pretty. They're really pretty. And there's these little card things that you could use. There's these, which I didn't glue together or punch a hole. There's 3 of those. I did cut them out. They were fairly easy. I mean, you know, if they're fairly easy for me to cut out, then I will do them, you know. And once in a while, I'll fussy cut something. It's not that I don't like fussy cutting. It's just that it takes a lot of time. And right now, I don't have any. I have such a small amount of time right now for doing things like this, because I'm trying to do so many videos now that they just need, you know, I need to get them done. Yeah, so, you know, I'm tucking all this stuff into the various slots and places, you know. I think this one will be one that's in the drawer because it's really pretty. And if you, this I left together because you might like it together, you might want it to be together. So I'm just leaving it. I didn't cut these things apart. I did fussy cut them to that point, but I didn't take them apart. And then there was this one picture that I printed it several times. I actually have this picture several times. And I thought, well, you know, it can tuck in the back here and just go into one of those slots. And, you know, you can, like I said, you can use that, put something on the back of it, you know, and, you know, do whatever you wish to with it. I have this, and I want to put it in there, so that I need to cut some edge off. So I'm just going to go over the edge off of each side and then tuck it in. And then it doesn't, I'm not gluing that one in because, yeah, I should have glued it before, but I didn't. So there you have it. All right, let's get, would you just go in, please? No, eh? Yeah. No, a little bit more. Okay, a little bit more. A little bit more. There you go. You go in there. There you are. Okay, and that concludes this. Let me just show you what you end up with. Oh yeah, and there's these 2 circles, which I'll tuck into one of the things. They're for closing, you know, using for whatever, but like I said, I'm going to put Velcro on this, and I don't have it here right beside me. I thought I did, but looking around, I didn't bring it forward. So it's over there on the shelf, and I'm not going to get it. But if you're using magnets, you could use this to cover. If you're using, you could use it as a button closure where you use the string and stuff, but that would be difficult with this, because if you can see, it actually closes over the top of this thing. So putting a button, like a string closure on this would not be easy unless you wrapped it all the way around the whole thing, which you could do. Anyway, I did not cut those out. They can be found inside there. And I will put Velcro onto the thing just to close it properly. But yeah, there it is. And I think that this is really beautiful. And I think if I tried doing a second one, it would turn out much, much better. Because, you know, I now know how it goes together. But it is a lot of work cutting out and then putting it, you know, putting it together. So yeah, so I am finished with that one, and we will set that one aside now up on the shelf with all the others, and when it comes draw time, it'll be part of something. We are going to be they're going to be mystery kits that we're going to use, so we'll be doing that, but that'll be explained in a video all by itself. That's going to be a special video. So anyway, we will talk to you all again in the next one. I'm looking forward to it because I think I'm going to do a couple of cards now, and then I'll get another album / folio whatever out. I've got a kit that's really beautiful. It's called Apothecary, so it should be interesting to put together. By these people, by Polka Art Studio. The links for this are in the click here box. So just click there and you'll see the drop down and it'll give you the links. That's it for this time. So you guys take care out there, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.